Ramblings with Joe, Nighttime Edition, Sans Coffee. I do, however, tonight have a guest with me. This is Em, my wife. She is a German lass with an Irish name. So, tell me your very first memory in life.
In life?
Yes, the very first memory. Oh, well, tell you what. First, this is going to be a learning episode. So first, say hello.
Hi.
And
I'm here against my will. Please send help.
No, don't send no help. Besides, by the time you hear this, the recording will have been done. All right, so tell me the first memory you have in life.
Wow. Right into the deep end. Okay. A solar eclipse. I was laying on my back, minding my own business, I think. And all of a sudden, the world went dark. Come to find out, I was just laying in my mother's stroller, I guess, and somebody stuck their head in to check out the baby. Now I'm traumatized for life.
Well, I mean...
No, not really.
I mean, technically that is a solar eclipse.
It was.
It was just caused by someone's noggin instead
it's
of
just
the moon.
I'm retelling it as an adult. I didn't know what a solar eclipse was. This was just a visual, how I experienced the memory. So, it wasn't... It was kind of like that because everything went dark and I was confused. I remember being not quite scared, but confused.
What was your first memory of school?
My first day. The cat's getting into the nip.
We have catnips, and the cat keeps pulling it off the shelf, but it's sealed tight. So.
Meow, Joanna.
Yeah. Grow some thumbs, Baggy, and you can get into that. First memory of school.
Yeah, it was the first day of, I guess what you all... Wait, you guys count kindergarten as school?
Yes.
Okay, so first day of kindergarten. I actually don't remember that. I remember my first day of school.
The first memory of school.
Yeah, it's the first day.
And what was the memory? Just showing up or getting on the bus, or did you walk to school?
Kind of everything.
You remember arriving at your first day of school?
Yeah. Carrying this huge cone wrapped in, it's pretty. It's, I don't know what to call it. It's, I don't even know what it is called in German. A Schultüte.
A Schultüte?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cone. The cardboard cone was wrapped in fun, glittery stuff with bows and parents would put stuff in there like candy and stuff for school.
Was it to share or just for yourself?
No, for yourself. That was, yeah. But weirdly enough, we had to carry those with us, or we got them there. I'm not entirely sure, but I remember carrying it home. It was huge.
What's it called?
A Schultüte. I'm not sure if that's correct though, because it's just a custom that we have. And now I'm going to have to Google some vocabulary so I could even explain this correctly, because it was just a custom. I think it was to make the kids happy so they wouldn't be whiny little brats and, crying for their moms and their papas. I think maybe that was it. We had this huge, this thing was taller than me. I had to carry it. It wasn't very heavy because it had candy and stuff inside, but it was huge. And I need to show you a picture thereof because it's a whole bunch of little kids carrying these obscenely large candy cones. It looked like an ice cream cone with the thing on top. It was just covered up so you couldn't see inside.
Oh.
Yeah, so kind of looked like an ice cream cone.
So I've been married to you for almost 30 years. And today is the first time I've ever heard the story of a Schultüte?
Schultüte.
Schultüte.
I don't think I have to do some research online because I'm not even sure if that's the correct word or if it's missing a noun in there somewhere. So what's the very first time that you recognized yourself as an adult? When you recognized you have passed that line and you are no longer a child, you now have to do things as an adult. I guess my first day at my first job.
When you first went to work.
Yeah, but it's different over there. We have apprenticeships. We get on-the-job training. You have to still go to school. It's different. You can't just. So it was I guess here you would probably call it. It's an internship for a middle management position, and then it was the CEO track.
Right.
But in industry, but I don't know, you all don't have the system we do, so I don't know how to explain that.
It was a paid.
It's an apprenticeship.
It was a paid internship where they were going to decide where you were going.
No, it was to train you in that field, so you could become entry level, middle management. You would obviously it's entry level, but you start in middle management, and then you work your way up the corporate ladder. That's how you in industry.
To anybody who is crazy enough to be listening to this is kind of a test episode, and I'm adjusting volumes as we go here. So I have adjusted the volume several times. There's nothing wrong with your speaker system or your phone or anything. I'm just trying to get the levels correct. And we had a lot of feedback there for a minute, and I apologize for that, but I think we have it down now.
His stuff is broken. He's got the backup system up. That's what's going on here.
I got the portable audio system up. So
that is portable?
This is portable. This is actually what this is built for. The Zoom Pod Track.
Cat fight in the kitchen.
Quit it.
You got the after. Hey, you all take it elsewhere. Come on, take it elsewhere.
Tommy, what was the first memory you ever... I'm sorry.
You all go.
All right, so your very first... Good grief.
You know, she's a drama queen.
I want y'all to know this cat is not dying. This cat is not hurt.
She's a drama queen.
They are playing, and that's the noise she makes. I have picked her up, and she has done this to me, and I'm thinking I'm holding a demon.
It's disconcerting, is what it is.
It is very disconcerting. But that's our small. That's not really small. She ain't small.
No, she's got a belly.
We feed our cats very well. If we didn't, I'm afraid that a couple of them might eat us. So, all right. So we've got the first day of school, first school memory, and what was the second question? As we grow older, we forget things. So we moved on.
Oh, I started that early.
So we talked about the when you recognized yourself as an adult, and when...
Maybe not the first day. Maybe it was the first time I got in trouble and called to the personnel, the Personalchef's office.
Is that like a union?
No, the union rep was there.
But that's not the union rep. That was someone else.
No, that was they couldn't talk to you without the union rep being there.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything for you. Another story altogether. But anyway, Yeah, I think that's probably when I made a decision, because I decided not to play their dumb game.
So back up just a little bit. As a child, what were you most motivated by? As a young adult, pre-adulthood, that moment when you recognized yourself as an adult. Before that, what really motivated you?
Motivated me in what regard?
And I'm going to get some money to do this, or I can't wait until I go do that, or there's computers.
Yeah.
Like
That is
Commodore 64?
The Commodore C64, exactly. I wanted one of those. They were rather expensive. My dad thought that was an obscenely expensive toy, and he wasn't having that. So I decided, okay, it's time to save up the pocket cash and do things here and there, like summer jobs and stuff, to get the money together. So, yeah, I guess I wanted a computer. That was my first motivation that I'm conscious of.
And it's kind of been a running vein throughout the story of your life is technology. I mean, we met on the internet.
Yeah, it is. And what a disappointment it has become. I mean,
okay,
seriously.
So let's go there. Let's fast forward to present day. I want a new iPhone. I do. You are resistant to it originally because you said it had AI.
Yeah, but the AI is also broken. It doesn't really work.
Well,
I'm not going to beta test a $1,500 phone for them.
So it seems like what you've kind of changed tracks.
I don't like
now.
the data mining that they do, and they compensate us with nothing. So we have a phone, but we still had to pay you $1,500 to mine our data. How about you give us the phone for material cost? You don't make nothing off the phone.
Right.
And, we pay what, plus maybe build it in a place where people get paid a living wage, like in a European country or here in America or another democratic country that pays their people and have, at-will employment, so to speak. Can't compete.
So
but anyway, back to the iPhone. Then maybe I would consider giving you, for the rest of the money, I give you 2 years worth of my data or something like that. Then I could maybe see myself opting in, but the current model isn't working for me. I'm not giving my data away for free. You got to scrape around for it. I'm going to make it as difficult as you can. But anyway, so yeah, I like technology. I am resisting where it's going because I'm not buying into this. This is not something I envisioned we would be better as the human race by now.
So you and I kind of grew up with, or the internet grew up with us. We were already of age, obviously, but the internet, we were there for the Wild Wild West of the internet. We were there for things like...
Yes, as a matter of fact, we were kind of, yeah. It makes it feel so romanticized and something that it really wasn't.
It really wasn't. What it was
but it was.
But it wasn't. It became a huge deal for both of us because it was an out.
I was shunned by my family for being online talking to
strangers.
Computers. So, but as that is people with computers on the other end, and they didn't get that. Look at them now, all strung out on the Facebook.
Oh yeah,
just saying.
Everybody.
I'm like, you all owe me a huge apology.
Yeah. So I mean, today we went to my brother's house, and we helped him. He's starting his own business, and as I said in my last podcast, I'm very proud of him for going on this adventure, especially this late in our lives. I mean, we're in our 60s.
Courageous.
It is very courageous, and he has decided that he has put up with enough bad bosses that he's. And I made a joke with him that, you know, what are you going to do if you can't put up with your new boss, which was of course him, but the central focal point for his new.
You dissociate and you keep on keeping on.
So the central focal point of this new business to garner new customers is social media. And that's kind of really, it's the almost the opposite of where we thought the internet would be. It has become a very commercialized capitalist endeavor. I don't have a problem with any of that. What I have a problem with is the disinformation that is propagated on the internet.
Well, as has been since the beginning of internet time, you got to use your own discernment when you read something from a source that is maybe questionable, or you don't know, or it's unknown, or whatnot. And so, to me, I don't think there is such a thing as disinformation, misinformation, malinformation. There's just factual information, and then there is bullcrap. And then there is a little bit in between those two extremes. And in order to figure anything out, whether it's real or not, you're going to have to invest a lot of time, because we have too much information available to us now. So it takes us forever. This is where AI comes in.
It takes us, well, it depends upon if you've got the
maybe
malevolent version of AI or the honest version. So,
or the unlocked version versus the restricted version.
You're saying that we have all this information and we have to find a way to strain through it to figure out the factual information, but the idea that we have all the information now, to me, is wonderful. The idea that it's there, even though we have to figure out which of it is, in your words, misinformation, because I do believe in misinformation. I think it's there, and I think there are people that are trying to mislead us.
Well, I believe in the verb like misinformed.
Yes.
I can be misinformed.
Absolutely.
But
With bad
information, I don't like that whole. And why do we have 4 different terms for the same thing that says this information is incorrect?
We have
Mis, dis, mal, and whatever else. It's just.
I think that those words are more of a tool for people that want to take control of the information than it is for people who are actually disseminating truthful information. The what do they call it? Legacy media. Can't call it mainstream media anymore because it's not mainstream anymore. This kind of what we're doing today, this is kind of the mainstream of media now.
Well, the ones who actually decide to go around and investigate the local governments, or
that's
citizen reporting.
Yes,
that's
that's
now
citizen
mainstream.
Right, but media, mainstream media is mainstream entertainment, and it's news, it's comedy shows. I listen to all these every day at work.
So you got to get nowadays. You got to get your news from a variety of sources on both sides, and some other sides that you hadn't previously thought of.
And what I know, we're not going to say the C word. We're not going to say it. We're absolutely not going to say.
What's the C word?
You know what the C word is? It happened from 2020 to 2022. We're not allowed to say. We absolutely we can't say COVID. Also, we're not allowed to use the V word. We're not allowed to say the V word. Don't.
The V word.
Yeah, don't say vaccine, whatever you do, okay? We're not allowed to say vaccine, okay? And we can't say the I word.
What word?
I word.
The I word.
It's right up there with the U word.
Like they were all a bunch of idiots?
No.
That I word?
No, not that I word.
Oh.
Israel. You really are being surprised by this.
The idiots in the Israeli government. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then we can't say the U word.
Okay. Well,
So here's the problem. We have these very, very, what is the word? Popular. These very, very popular media platforms that have gained control.
could we just say the keywords in a different language?
That's what most podcasts do. That's
right.
what
You just you say I'm an English podcast. We talk nothing but English, and then you have different languages for different things. All
Right.
your curse words are in Italian, for instance.
Now, I'm good with saying COVID. I'm good with saying Israel. I'm good with saying vaccine. I'm good with saying all this stuff. It doesn't bother me a bit. If they decide to deplatform me, then I'll be deplatformed.
Because if you could just only get to that $1 on Rumble.
I'm at 31 cents now. And as I told all of my listeners, I want to double my listenership from 2 to 4 within the next 2 years. So
One of his listeners is his wife.
on all the platforms, I make sure she
On
listens
all of
to
them.
it every day. By the way, if you're on any platform
So-
right now other than Rumble,
so-
I would encourage you to come over to Rumble.
So
and,
this idea of me not listening to him in the morning, yeah, it totally backfired.
wait a minute.
Yeah, now
No.
I got to listen to him in the afternoon, but it's the same crap. So,
Yeah, but not in the morning.
right. So I
You're
just
not a
I
morning
just
person.
delayed the torture.
It's not torture. You married me. You knew what you were getting
So
when you
now I
married
wake
me.
up in the morning saying, "Oh my gosh, I got that 1 point. Listen to this crap."
and it is
And now I have to
appreciated.
do it 4 times.
And now look, I have made 31 cents, and maybe 1/10 of that is from you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he makes me watch all commercials I can't skip.
That's not true at all,
No,
and
he
she
totally-
does.
He sits there.
She's lying. She skips through all the commercials every time. I'm not gaining any money from her, and I don't get paid by commercial views anyway. So eventually, I needed to start doing live shows. Evidently on Rumble, that's where it's at. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Also, I spent. Oh, hey everybody. This is one of those. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission situations, and you get to hear this. If you hear gunfire, I don't have a gun, and I don't know if she does or not, but it's she who shot me.
I have a synthesizer,
Oh, she
but it's not.
readily
know.
available. So I spent
Locked, cocked, and ready to
to
rock?
do the
No.
Apple
How does it
podcast,
go?
locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
Is the lock first? I thought the cock was no. You lock first, then you cock, then you
No, you
lock.
got to cock it first and then lock it.
No, which way? I mean, it's been a while.
I mean,
Which way does it go?
I think it really depends upon the pistol, right?
I was thinking rifles.
Oh, rifle. Well, yeah. Let's see. You got to cock it and then. Well, if you lock it, then you can't
I mean,
shoot it. so.
handguns at the table, that's too easy.
By the way,
Rifles
if
at
you
the
thought
table
I
is-
was the only person that rambled in this house, you're getting a very valuable lesson right now that ain't so.
Yeah, but I ramble at night.
It's night. That's why we're doing the interview right now. So now I forgot where we were going. Let's see. Let's
Not my show.
let's back. Let's back to your interview.
Should have brought some notes.
Well, I don't. I
You
kind of
don't
like,
do notes.
I do notes occasionally, but I like to work off the cuff, and
Right.
I figured this was my
Like
chance.
that 1.5 hour documentary that never
I
happened
remember where I
because
was
you
going.
didn't write a script.
So to start a podcast on Apple, you have to spend $20, and I spent that $19.
oh, is that the one that you're asking forgiveness for?
Yes, please forgive me. So I'm hey, no fighting on the table.
You are acting sketchy. Go away.
That's the sketchy twins. So
Baggy, go be sketchy.
the good
elsewhere.
news is that I'm really making headway in iTunes. On iTunes, I've gotten one listener, but I think
That's
that
me.
you subscribed. So
You made me do it.
actually, Paul's subscribing on iTunes as well because the audio is better. So, and you did a heck of a job vamping there when I got up and went to get the battery for the recorder. You just kept right on rolling with it. I was very impressed. Thank you very much. That was awesome. What motivates you today?
Like right this minute?
No. In this part of your life, what motivates you?
Nothing really.
What makes you get up in the afternoons?
I get up in the morning. I used to get up in the afternoon.
You used to get up with me in the mornings. And Then I started doing this kind of thing, and you're like, yeah, I ain't got to listen to this.
No, you're just too much.
I am.
I don't turn fully human until like roughly 11.
And I'm
it
a
used
very
to take
up
till
person.
noon, but as I get older,
yeah, that
like
sleep
11.
becomes elusive. I'm a very up person also, whether it's first thing in the morning or 3 or 4 in the afternoon, it doesn't matter. I'm usually a very positive, upbeat person, and
yes, you are.
you're not. I don't know why you fell for me so hard.
Because we met at night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you must have been drunk or something. I don't know what the heck happened.
No, we met online.
Yes, I know.
You know, when I had time to talk online was at night.
Yep, I know. I'm well aware of that.
More cat fights.
Yep.
What the heck? They see us sitting at the table, and here they all come.
Yep, that's what they do.
And now they changed wrestling partners.
Yep.
Now I guess it's not the brother sister thing anymore. It's
So what is okay? Let me put it a different way. What is the most motivating factor for you right now in this portion of your life?
I do not know how to answer that question.
Okay, so
There is no motivating factor.
mowing the yard is the least motivating factor.
Now I can think of lesser motivating factor than mowing the yard.
Like what?
Let's see.
Well, see, I'm trying to keep it positive here. That's my goal. I was hoping that we would have, kind of a through the life thing. Oh, I'll tell you what we can talk about. Let's talk about a little bit of HOA drama.
Oh, let's not.
Okay, you don't want to talk about HOA
Okay,
drama?
fine.
I mean, it's a very interesting topic, and you seem to be motivated sometimes, off and on, by some things that go on in our HOA.
Well, some of it is it's freaking hilarious. I mean, not to be mean.
Let's not have any names or mention what
No,
HOA we're a part of.
But some of it is just downright hilarious. But then I feel bad for finding it funny.
Well,
because, and now I'm laughing at them like a mean girl.
if you don't laugh, you cry.
That's true. Since they also, kind of have control of our money, and so then you quit laughing because you don't think it's funny anymore.
Well, let's
so now you don't know what to do.
let's get some basics here for HOA. Number one rule of HOA.
Nobody talks about HOA.
No, that's Fight Club. Number one rule of
Isn't
HOA
that what
is
it is?
you don't
that's
talk
what
about,
they do.
You don't talk about Fight Club at the HOA. But the number one rule for HOA is first.
Oh wait, keep all the secrets you can from your residents.
No, not the present board's HOA secrets. No, the number one rule of HOA is to maintain or increase property
Total
value.
control.
No. Property value. That's the number one rule. Number two rule of HOA. Build community.
Yeah, that's I think is optional.
It is absolutely secondary to the first rule. Always. So 3 years ago, our HOA was in upheaval because nobody knew what was going on, and the neighborhood had some real issues that weren't being addressed. And I was pretty disgusted because this is my first HOA. Well, this is my second HOA. This is my first HOA that wasn't in a townhome situation.
Oh, remember in the townhome, Mr. Benevolent Dictator driving through with his Oakleys.
Yep.
And being all operator like and like I'm the can I cuss on here?
No, fuck no.
I don't even know, but he was so annoying. I called him Chad. What was his real name?
I don't know.
I called him Chad. He was
was
all about. Oh gosh, he reminded me of one of those trust fund babies that grew up.
Yeah, it was hilarious because we lived in townhouses
and talking the most asinine nonsense with the weirdest level of confidence that almost you could believe it. If it wasn't for the fact of the words coming out of his mouth. That dude was annoying.
So,
Anyway.
I'm gonna do a really quick history of how we ended up where we're at right now in the HOA. Okay, just really fast, and then we'll get right back into what motivates you, because I think this can be very motivating for you. But I joined the board. I'm a truck driver, so I felt qualified to join the HOA board. And being a truck driver on the HOA,
More qualified than most.
being a
Come
truck
to
driver,
find out.
being a truck driver, as I joined the HOA board, I knew for sure that I would be doing important work as either heavy lifting or janitorial. Instead, they thought as a truck driver, it would be great to make him president.
But you
So-
did the heavy lifting and stuff too.
So they made me president. And right after I became president, I decided it was time for me to leave my last job. I lost it. I know where it's at. I just wasn't allowed to go there anymore. I left that job, and I took a few months.
I got a place like that.
Yeah, we all do. We all have a place like that. Okay. How many jobs have you been fired from?
As in actually literally fired
Yes,
or
you are no longer needed here. Get out.
one.
Let's not talk about that one. Same. I've only have one. What how many jobs have you ghosted? I lied. I had two.
Wait, you got fired from 2 jobs.
Yes, I forgot.
Oh, okay. Do summer jobs count?
Ghosting?
Yeah.
Yes, every
Okay,
job.
so I go for that. So that's one there. But if you told the boss that you couldn't work under these conditions anymore, and then you left and you didn't pick up your paycheck because you felt too bad, but he knew that you weren't coming back, is that ghosting?
No. Ghosting is you left and you didn't go back the next day or the day after that, or
okay. So
et cetera, et cetera.
the summer job, and then I think I ghosted that one as well. Yeah, so I'm thinking 2. A summer job and a real job.
So you got fired by one and you ghosted,
two.
And how many jobs do you think you've quit in your life? Properly quit, whether out of anger, whether you walked into your manager's office and you told him, "Go get stuffed, I'm out of here."
So what does properly mean then?
You quit. You told them, "I'm done. I'm not coming
Right,
back."
that's just like regular
Well, I
quitting.
can think of one that you and I
Is
both
that
quit
regular
together.
quitting? Oh, no, I quit that one first.
Did you quit it first?
Yeah, I said I can't take this no more. I'm out.
Oh, that's right. I stayed behind,
Yeah,
to give a little bit more hell, and then I
because
left.
of the word salad BS.
Yeah.
Continually trying to tell us the same stuff over and over, wondering why we still haven't changed our minds. Yeah, I couldn't take that anymore. I would have said something.
Right into the microphone. So,
I may have regretted. I don't know. So I
what was the
usually
best
just-
job you ever had? Not the best paying, but the best job. The job you liked the most.
I figured that's what you meant. The best one. You know, I kind of hated them all.
I kind of
guess
hated
maybe.
them all.
I guess I liked the National Guard. I liked that.
Because you
know,
got to goof off all the time.
Low level commitment, but intense. You know, just
That's hilarious.
I don't know. I'm thinking. Maybe the first IT job, because that could have turned into something really good, but but I technically only liked that for a short time. So I don't know.
In recent memory, I think I'm in the best job that I've had in a long time. I enjoyed being a hospital corpsman in the Navy. I enjoyed interacting with the patients, and I loved to fly with the Marines. That was an absolute joy. That was the highlight of my naval career, was getting into those helicopters with the Marines and flying around.
Okay, I changed my best job I ever had was the full-time stints I did in the Army while I was in the National Guard. I liked those.
Yeah.
That is why I actually wanted to stay in the military and become full-time Army.
What's the hardest job you ever did? Physically hard.
Physically hard?
Labor-wise, yeah.
Man, most of my jobs all dealt with sitting on my bum doing something in an office.
Well, I know you
So
went through boot camp.
yeah, but after that, I was a desk jockey. I mean, I'm guessing that would have probably been, boot camp. Because AIT, I was sitting on my bum in front of a typewriter.
So, I think the hardest job I ever did was baling hay. And my father, he was sort of a jokester, but he was also sort of a hard ass. And he told me, he said, it's going to be hot out there. And I said, okay. And I put on shorts and short sleeves, and I went to bale hay, and he let me. He baled hay himself. He knew that you can't bale hay in shorts and short sleeves. I was so eat up by the time I got home. And he told me to take a shower. That'd make me feel better, and then put some alcohol on it, rubbing alcohol. I screamed for 10 minutes solid. I could hear him howling with laughter in the front room. I miss that old geezer.
He'll never forget his pants again.
Oh, no, I did that job for another 2 weeks. I didn't forget my pants or shirt or hat or scarves. It did that hay, it just pokes you and eats you up and scratches you.
I take that back. The hardest job I've ever had was the factory work that I managed to, I think, participate in for 2 weeks before I couldn't
St. Joe?
take it. Yes, until I couldn't take it anymore because it was such the time just, I think the whole place was like built in a time bubble.
Yeah.
Because when you went in there, time just slowed down. It was like, it just, and even though that it wasn't physically all that hard, didn't really have to lift anything over maybe 10 pounds and stack it on a pallet.
Yeah.
And then put labels on, put glue on the label, put the label on a box, put folders in a box, put the box on a pallet, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We weren't even the poor souls that had to do the job according to a machine's speed. I had to walk by those poor guys, and I was like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that for longer than an hour, maybe.
Why do you think this was the worst job?
Because no matter what, that machine always went the same pace. If you had the flu that day.
No, I mean, why do you think that job was your worst job?
Oh, because it was just absolutely soul draining. It was brain rottingly boring. The time was dragging, like I said. It's like I'd rather dig ditches, to be honest, than work in a factory doing the same three motions. Huh?
You can talk to people while you dig ditches.
Exactly, and I have dug ditches. It'll take me a while to dig one, so I probably not.
I know this was probably before iPods, but did they have music or?
No, we weren't allowed to. I think you could do a radio, but you weren't allowed to block your ears because you had to listen for forklifts
safety
and all that.
functions and all that crap.
But I guess we could have radios or something.
Did you have a radio?
Nope.
No. We were pretty broke back then, weren't we?
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was just, how long can you listen to that before that also grates on your nerves because they play the same frickin' song like 8 times a day on,
So we, as a truck driver, I can pardon the pun, but I can tune in to what you're saying. And before podcasts, I drove at night. And most people don't realize this, but the reason I drove at night was because I could pick up an AM station with talk radio, and I could go a couple 100 miles before I had to find another one.
Wouldn't lose your signal every 2 hours.
Right. Not even every 2 hours. It wouldn't lose. It would go a long time because AM radio bounces off the atmosphere, and you can have a pretty good.
I've listened to the radio in this country. I just brought at first audio tapes.
Yes.
And then CDs.
Yes.
and I always listened to, and then the adapter so we could hook our iPods to it,
Yeah.
so we could,
Hook our CD players to it.
right?
Yeah. I remember those. Yeah. She's very, very pensive look on her face right now. She's thinking about things, remembering things. Try not to turn off the recording there, Raja. So, is there anything that we haven't covered today that you might like to ramble on a bit about?
No, if you're out of questions,
I'm not out of questions.
answers.
I am never out of questions. I have a million more
No,
questions.
I'm just going with the flow, I guess.
That's all rambling with Joe is, going with the flow. We were going to hit on the HOA, but I think maybe we'll leave that alone, and maybe next time
No,
you're...
we're gonna talk about the HOA.
Why,
I have nothing
So when I was on the board...
good to say about the current state of
Let's
disunion.
Let's get there first. When I was on the board, you started doing a newsletter, right? And that newsletter was pretty. It was pretty. The front page was pretty funny.
Oh, it's called satire.
It was satire.
South Park
yes,
does it.
Yes, absolutely.
Family Guy does it.
And I think that you found a lot of motivation in doing that newsletter because you really, when it was time to publish that sucker, you really got busy and you bared down on it and you put your nose to the
It's also the most
grindstone.
anxiety-provoking time of. At first it was the month, and then the time of every other month, and then it was the most anxiety-provoking time of the quarter.
Right.
But yeah, that was good for me, I guess.
It was good for you.
Creative outlet.
Definitely.
Even though I'm not creative, weird.
But you are creative. We're all creative in different ways. I mean, look at me. I'm creative in a way that irritates people in the morning. So I have found my outlet. I have found my canvas. And unfortunately for you, 2 people in my audience. Oh, now you're sitting across from me making the podcast with me, and you have to listen to it. This is incredible.
I'm not listening to this
Oh,
one.
no, you have to listen to this.
No.
Do you want me not to
I
get to
don't
32 cents?
You're going to get to 32 cents. I sabotaged the video, so we're good.
No, I cannot figure it out. I followed all the directions on. The only thing that I'm thinking maybe I need a different cord is the
Yeah, I'm not helping you
little
out
white
there.
cord. No, obviously
Even if I knew the
not.
answer, I would keep it to myself.
Why?
Because I don't want to be on video.
Oh no! Well, this is for my morning
You know,
podcast.
if you want me on video, we gotta shoot it like they do the Corona beer commercial, like where there's just 2 sets of feet at the beach. You can kind of see their hats
What if we
and their
did it the other
shoulder,
way?
and you can see
What if it was like on Tool Time with the neighbor?
like with my
Yeah, with
my,
the fence. Your eyeballs just looking over the top of the fence.
yeah, that'll work too, but that's already done.
Do you want me to talk to our neighbor and see if you can go next door when we do the next interview? She's got a fence.
No, that's already been done.
Yeah.
You can't rip somebody else's art off. It's got to be different.
Well, I tried OnlyFans, but they kept paying me to put my clothes back on, so I'm going to stick with this
what
for a
do you
minute.
care? What,
Where the money comes from?
right?
I forgot to bring
I
my
mean,
clothes
if you're
with me.
if you're that low,
Anyway, I'm hoping we're going to do a independent newsletter this time without board approval for the HOA, which I am no longer part of the board of, and you're going to be the editor again.
right, and it's gonna look exactly the same.
Well, you copyrighted that as
My design.
it's your design, so that's you. But don't you think this is going to be a fun adventure? I mean, it's going to be a little bit higher. What's the word? Higher pressure. We're going to put it out a little bit quicker, and we don't have board members to
That is exactly why the layout's gonna stay the same.
we don't have board members to fall back on for articles, which very few of them actually produce articles.
Any pirated issue, or you know what they used to call, I guess it wasn't pirated as in like pirate radio. You know, not that they stole something, it was just not licensed, the government didn't like it, but you did it anyway.
Right.
It's gonna be like that.
Well,
That is how I look at it.
I look at it a little bit differently. I look at it like news. This is literally
Only
independent.
better.
Yes. You know what this is? This is HNN.
This is like here's all the info, make up your own minds. We don't have any opinions on this channel. No,
Well, no, the opinion pieces will be marked as opinion pieces. I have an opinion piece in mind, and I will be typing an opinion piece out. Trust me. We
they
have
didn't like satire. Kind of like Rachel Segler.
Who's Rachel Segler?
You do not know who? Oh my gosh, I even know who she is. Snowwoke.
Huh?
Snowwoke.
I don't know what that is.
The new Snow White remake, the live action remake that Disney
Oh,
probably
this is some kind of
regrets.
movie stuff?
Yeah.
What, babe, when was the last time I watched
Oh my
a
gosh,
movie?
even I know.
I didn't know this. I don't,
you
I know
need
what
to
you're
go
talking
down-
about. No, I
you
know what you're
need
talking
to-
about now.
you
She's the
need
one
to-
that made a
if-
fool of herself, and now she's
Oh,
and ruined the
oh.
movie for everybody. Is that what's happening?
Oh no, a fool of herself? No, that's putting it very mildly.
That's an understatement.
This is very, very entertaining.
It's very entertaining.
It is very entertaining, and it is a sad example of how that works, how they eat their own. So I don't feel sorry for her because she had it coming. However, on a human level, I can completely understand what she must now be feeling,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't want to wish that on my worst enemy, but again, she had it coming.
Well, what is the German word for delighting in someone else's misery?
Schadenfreude.
Yeah, let's not practice some Schadenfreude. I'm a fan of shame. I think I didn't used to be a fan of shame, but then you and I had that discussion about it.
Oh, you mean public humiliation?
Yeah, that's shame. And you changed my mind. You know, I got a letter in the mail. I got a letter from the HOA saying I need to clean the side of my house. I got this one side over here that always gets
That's
mildewy.
only public humiliation if it comes on a postcard.
I got a big mouth. I can't keep my mouth shut about this. It's public humiliation because I'm going to tell everybody. I got a letter from the HOA. I don't care. I don't look at it like other people look at it. I think it's a reminder. Hey, wash your house. You're missing it. And one of my podcasts recently.
Send it on your postcard so your neighbor will know too.
Well, tomorrow if I get a break in the rain, it won't be mildewy over there anymore.
Well,
And
the first one's free. That's the free.
that's the reminder.
The free warning system. Like,
Right.
hey, something needs your attention. So that way you can do the bare minimum always and not get in trouble. I do not know why these people are so hateful over this. I'm like, best system ever.
I love it.
Best system ever.
Yes.
If I don't get a letter in the mail, I can keep on letting that stuff go.
Yeah.
Until I do. Then I fix it. And
So-
then we're waiting on the next thing to come around that might get to their attention. I'll fix that too.
Yeah.
But that way, minimum effort,
Yeah.
maximum payout.
Heck yeah. Hey,
Why
here
get
at the
mad?
HOA, we don't allow house fires. Put your house out. Oh, that's a good reminder. So, I think we can wrap this up. We're at 50 minutes. We had a pretty good talk. I expect to have another pretty good talk.
You got to make it to 60, don't you?
We can go 10 more minutes. I'm always game to talk
oh,
to
yeah,
you.
yeah,
You are
10
the love of
minutes.
my life. 10 minutes is nothing.
Yeah, but I have to talk to 10 minutes, not you.
We both do. This is why we're
So
having a
this was a
conversation.
crap idea again.
No, this is a great idea. I love talking to you. So, we're not going to put the newsletter out to irritate the board. We're going to put the newsletter out to
Give the
enlighten the community.
No. To give the community back what they lost due to the current thing in progress.
The current board.
Yeah, the current effery in progress.
All right. So,
Because I didn't want to put out a propaganda piece, so I'm guessing we should probably talk about how that happened.
well,
How
I'd
the
like to do a podcast. Sorry, I had to deal with a cat. I'd like to do a podcast.
They all think they're sound engineers.
Yeah, they are sound engineers. They're trying to rework my wires. I'd like to do a podcast specifically about that. And Step has agreed to do an interview with me, conversation. And I'm sure that will be the primary topic of discussion. However, should you like to join that conversation, I can get another microphone. That's not an issue.
No. I
As a matter of fact, if you'd like to do that conversation with Step in my stead,
I'm not. Why are you making me now do podcasts? I am not good. I'm a writer for a reason.
Foxy.
How long has it taken you for me to...
M,
What?
for better or worse.
No.
So this
Oh,
is...
you know what?
What?
You screwed up in one of your podcasts when you're talking about marriage licenses.
What'd I say?
Then, I don't remember exactly what you said. But
No,
you
if you're going to
didn't-
tell me I screwed up, I got to
you-
have receipts.
You screwed up because you said something about that. If you want to live together. See, then people are going to say, but we need somebody to oversee this so we don't have these problems occurring like wife beating and all of that stuff.
Assault is against
Spouse
the law.
abuse. Right. No, but that's what they're saying. So we need to make sure that blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But you know what? You can just draw up a contract
Yeah. No,
between two people.
didn't I mention that? You can have...
No, you didn't mention that.
Oh, okay. I'm
Right,
sorry.
instead of that's what I said. You screwed up. You should have meant that marriage wouldn't become the wild, wild west of. She left my lap. She's elsewhere now. Marriage wouldn't become the wild, wild west of, whatever, state-sanctioned relationships. I don't know.
That's what marriage is, state-sanctioned relationship. Yeah,
And what it really should be is a...
none of their business.
Right. If anything,
If anybody wants
it's
to have a contract
religious-
with anybody
it's a-
else, they can have a contract. You just have to either draw it up yourself or go to a
Isn't
lawyer
that
and
a
have them draw it
religious
up.
construct for the most part?
Marriage?
Yeah.
Marriage is a religious construct.
Right. I can't see outside of. I mean, I guess I could see it outside of marriage. It's just two people getting together, creating a family so they can grow more food and survive.
Well, if you think about it, back before we had a license from the state to get married, it was just religious leaders that would bless partnerships.
Right. Basically, a public statement holding you to a certain standard, and the community will hold you to a certain standard.
Yes.
Like if you beat your wife and somebody else in town finds out, then they're going to. But anyway, I'm getting off the subject. So marriage, if you're afraid of that, just make it a contract instead of just saying cohabitating. A woman walks through your door, puts her shit on your bed, and then that's it. You're married because she done moved in. You know that? Well, I mean, we could do it that way,
It's common law marriage.
right?
I mean, you just have to, what was it, 7 years? You had to live
I don't
together
know,
before
I
it was,
think-
I don't remember how long it was.
in Georgia, I think it was 7 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, heck, how long? And I was freaking out when I first read that because I was like, how long have we been cohabitating? I don't want to be married to you because out of some default I didn't even know about.
That's what I used to call her, my default wife.
If you all can make it to 7 years, the state automatically declares you married. And we have no say in it?
That's
weird.
it's weird at any
But
level.
they had already kind
Done
of
away with it.
done away with
Yeah.
it.
It's
that
weird
point.
at any level that the state is involved with who cohabitates with who.
Right. I mean, if it wasn't for the state, gay people could have married each other and been miserable just like straight people for a long time ago. Because
Gay
nobody.
people can marry each other now.
Right, I know, but they could have done it a lot sooner. Is what I'm saying.
Gay people.
If the state hadn't gotten into this business because there was some bunch of racists not wanting black people and white people to marry. Isn't that what the marriage license came about?
Yeah,
over
it was
racism.
racism,
Yeah.
yes.
They didn't want interracial marriage, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
what I
where the
thought.
license came from.
Right.
It was a license. Literally, is a restriction placed
Right.
upon people.
It's like saying
A license to drive
please,
doesn't
can we-
mean that you can drive. A license to drive means everybody that doesn't have one can't drive. That's what that means. It's a restriction.
Yeah, but that kind of makes sense.
No,
A
absolutely.
license to drive. You show your skill that you're not gonna kill anybody too soon. And
Right. A license to drive is granted because you have to have a certain skill set to do it.
Right. So a marriage license doesn't make any sense. I'm
Unless
sorry.
you want to require a skill set.
What kind of skill set?
Well, no black people and white people should be able to get married.
That's
Because
not a
that's
skill
where
set.
it came from.
Right, but that's not a
That's
skill
where
set.
it came from.
That's
A restriction. So it is a religious mechanism that the state used as a tool of racism. That's what it is. Wow, that got deep really fast.
yet we keep voting for them.
I don't know what to do at this point in
Yeah.
political history. It's all there's no good choices. This last time we had Trump, Chase, and Kamala.
I know what to call this show. Getting off on a tangent. But show.
That'll be the title, Tangents.
think
Rambling
you got
with
your
Joe,
60
Tangents. No, not quite. So, yeah. Well, we've gone far afield. We've hit from your first memory of school, your first memory at all, your first time that you considered yourself an adult, how right I am on most subjects.
We didn't cover that.
Oh, we didn't have to. We both know how right I am on most subjects.
We're
And-
gonna edit that out.
We can't seem to find a motivation for you. I think the newsletter will do you good, at least initially. Hopefully, we can get our community back on track. I will never be on the board
First, we're
again.
gonna have to depose a little bit of a dictator.
There's nothing we can do. All we can do is
there's plenty we can do.
shine the light of truth. That's what we can do. That's what we're going to do.
Ethically speaking, if we do not want to, become the monster when we stare into
Microphone.
the abyss,
Talk into the microphone.
then we probably shouldn't do most of the things that we could be doing.
Well, I think we should be ethical, and I think that we should require ethics from our leaders,
Right.
from the lowest level to the highest.
Actually, I believe that people that we put our trust in, so people in a position of public trust,
Yes,
and need to be held to a higher standard.
right.
What may be iffy for normal people is probably a huge no-no for someone in a position of public trust. But that's just me.
Yeah,
I'm from Germany. What do I know?
talk into the microphone. So, really, we've hit on quite a few subjects today. And true to the name of the show, Rambling with Joe, we've gone
Off
far
a
afield.
tangent.
we have been very, what's the word, tangential? We have been everywhere. And as always, I so enjoy conversing with you. I mean, literally, we started our whole relationship through conversation.
Yeah, but it was written conversation. I
It
do
was
not like this.
communication.
This is outside of my
You've
wheelhouse.
done a hell of a job today. I've had another good conversation with you. The conversations I have with you in person are as good, if not better, than those that we had on IRC. So,
Those were better.
really?
When you type, you can compose your thoughts.
I think that we're
When you
doing
talk,
fine.
there's always the slag, and then I get lost, and then I sound like
No, you
Kamala
ramble.
Harris with 100 more IQ points.
This is an honest conversation.
Oh man, that may have been an insult. I don't know.
This is an honest conversation. This is how people converse. We don't have notes. We just sat down and started talking, and this is how we converse. This is not just unique to us. Everybody converses like this. We don't take notes to a when I walk into the terminal at work and I walk up to somebody, I don't have something in mind that I'm going to
That's
talk
different,
about.
but if you talk about like deeper subjects where you need to collect your thoughts and think about it, I'm not quick to collect
don't-
my thoughts
well,
and
The idea that you have to have a deep conversation to have a podcast isn't really necessary. We could start talking right now about the state of the political arena, and we could have a. I mean, I'm sure that you would do a lot of laughing, but
so stand-up comedy then.
But we would have a very thorough, deep conversation because we both have very strong opinions. But the idea of you sitting down and starting to answer questions with me, although at first intimidating, once you got into it, you realized this is just Joe.
Yeah, but these are questions that don't really require recall of knowledge.
Well, recall of knowledge isn't always essential for a conversation. However, the idea that you just said that there was no recall of knowledge, think about the very first question I asked you.
Well, that's recall of knowledge, recall of media.
No, it was recall of your early childhood.
Yeah.
And we built from there, and we came all the way to the present.
Which is a movie that I then have to describe.
But it's recall. The cats are fighting again. It's recall. But I also know you better than I know anybody else in the world other than myself. And vice versa. So once we sit down and start talking, the trust is back. You understand? I'm not here to embarrass you, and I'm not here to interrogate you.
No, that's what the internet does.
That's right. I'm here to ask you some very, very silly questions that you didn't expect at all.
No, I didn't want to know the questions.
No. Well, I don't. Even if I told you the questions, I'd change them before we sat down. I don't want a pre-planned, preordained conversation where we both know how it's going to end up. I want to sit down and have a real conversation. My next conversation with you will be completely different. That's the idea.
Another one. I thought this contract was for one. This was a one-off.
We haven't signed any contracts, so
this was a verbal agreement.
You're not getting any of my 31 cents. I want you to know that right now. That is my money.
I'm going after your 401k.
My 401. Wait a minute now.
I'm going for the big bucks.
So I've had a good conversation with you. I always do, whether there's a microphone in front of us or not. You are the love of my life, and there's nothing in there, in this podcast or in this world, that can change that.
That is so embarrassing.
I don't care. I
You're
tell people.
such a mushy bum.
I am a mushy bum, but that's why one of the reasons you married me. It's got to be one of them because it's overwhelming.
No, it was annoying then, and it's annoying now.
Yeah, but you went right past it, and you said I do at some point. You said I do at 2 points.
Because I needed health insurance.
Oh, no, that was the second point.
It was a marriage out of convenience. Remember when I first said that to you? What was that? One of your family members you overheard that and they almost fell over?
Yeah, but we took vows before that as well.
I know, but
The important vows, the state vows didn't mean jack diddly.
The reason why we got married is because we were straight and we had to be married in order to get on your
100%
insurance.
My company at the time told me that he sent out a letter that said, if you are gay and you send us your partner's name and their information, we will insure them. So I called them up and I said, I'm not gay, but I have a woman that I live with and I would like to get insurance. And they said, no, you have to be gay to get insurance if you're not married. So we went out. We had already taken vows with each other that meant something. And then to get the insurance, we went out and got married by the state so we could have...
I need insurance. You wanted a tax break. I mean, it worked out.
Oh, yeah, it did work out. But this is the world we live in. You can't live outside of the system you live in. You have to move to do that, and I don't want to move to a different country.
To people who don't know us, it sounds rather callous, doesn't it?
Well, no, that's why...
It wasn't. It's the joke.
That's why I keep saying we had vows before that. We had taken vows.
I would have never gotten married again.
No, I know. It was too hard for you to get a divorce.
No, because as soon as I got married, he quit trying. And I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I don't do...
He quit trying?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm done.
You quit trying.
That's not who I am. We both know that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they quit trying because now it's how you're going to get a divorce. I mean...
Yeah, that ain't.
You can't just pack your crap and leave.
Yeah, that ain't me.
Now you have legal ramifications and stuff, and if you have kids, and those are involved.
If anything, I try too much. the marriage license was really for you and I. It was just a technicality.
Right.
It was just
No,
something
it's
literally
what-
so
that's
we
just-
could get insurance.
So that whole marriage out of convenience thing is kind
Yeah.
of like not a lie, but also a lie.
yeah. No,
know,
it's
right?
it's
It's like Schrödinger's cat.
no.
That
no.
that's a lie and
If
not
we
a
were in
lie
a
all at the
box,
same-
I'm pretty sure you'd kill me. Whether there was a radioactive tablet in it or not. All right, folks. I'd like to thank you for tuning in today, even though you don't use a tuner. I'd like to thank you for pushing the play button.
Oh my gosh, you're so awkward on these outros. I mean, I swear.
Oh, but wait. This gets better, folks. Here we go.
No,
Thank you very much for tuning in to Rambling with Joe. And I hope you have a great Sunday. It's Sunday morning. I know I'm not supposed to say the day. Would you like to say why I'm not supposed to say the day?
It's Saturday evening.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not releasing it until tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but it's still a lie.
No.
I mean, if you're gonna say a day,
Well, how is it a lie? I said I hope you're having a wonderful a Sunday morning.
what
I
if
hope you
they're
have a
listening to this on a Tuesday? Then they have to wait all the way to Sunday to have a good day.
If you're listening to this on a Tuesday, turn it off right now. We don't have any Tuesday listeners. Out. Turn it off. No Tuesdays.
You don't need to say the day, so you're. Just don't say the
I
days.
put out a daily podcast normally. I like saying the day. Almost everybody that puts out a podcast says the day. I get up on Monday and I go to work and I want people to know this is why this one sucks so bad. It's Monday and I got to go to work.
Well, then it's okay, but it comes up in conversation. But other than that,
Anyway, I hope you have a great Sunday.
May the 9th.
Well, it'll be the 10th.
Oh, it's actually the 11th. This is gonna be.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're totally like.
yeah.
So
It is.
so.
Today's the 10th. Tomorrow's the
yeah.
11th.
So you didn't know it either.
I didn't. Absolutely not. I didn't.
I have an excuse.
What was your excuse?
I don't have nowhere to be, so why do I care what time of day it is or what?
You have to
what
make my
day?
lunch for work.
Yeah, but that kind of happens. I don't need to know what time it is.
I think the last time it happened
Or
was
what day it is.
1990. Anyway, thanks for
That
listening.
is bullcrap.
Thanks for listening to Rambling with Joe. Until next time, I hope you find peace, love, and dream.
Bye.
No, come on.
What?
Come on.
What am I supposed to say?
The Hebrew.
Oh no, I'm not. No.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
Leitraut. I said it.
Say it again. Le Trout.
No. You're tricking me again.
Le Trout.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.
De.
Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf
It's a D,
die-
not a T.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh my gosh.
Ciao.
Bye.